Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Learn How to Sudoku, where we take a very easy variant Sudoku puzzle and we break it down in detail so that you can learn how to Sudoku. Today's very easy puzzle is called Chips and Cheese by Rockrat Zero. And here are the rules. We have normal Sudoku rules apply, which means in every cell in this grid, place a single digit from 1 through 9 such that there are no repeats in any row, column, or designated 9-cell region, which in this case is a box. Also, we have Dutch whisper lines, where adjacent digits on an orange, I think it's supposed to be line, not kind, must vary by at least 4. And I like to call them whisper 4 lines because it makes it clear what type of line it is. So, and it's just easier to figure out, oh, whisper 4, you have to have a difference of at least 4. Whisper 5, you have to have a difference of at least 5. Same with all the other types of whisper lines. So for example, if this were, say, a 3, this would have to be a 7, an 8, or a 9, because those are the only digits which are 4 or more away from 3. And that's an example of how Dutch whispers or whisper 4 lines work. We also have crop key pairs, where digits in cells connected by a white dot are consecutive, and digits in cells connected by a black dots form a 1-to-2 ratio. Not all dots are necessarily given. So for example, if this were, say, a 6, this would have to be a 5 or 7 to make sure that these digits are consecutive. If this were, say, a 4, this would have to be a 2 or an 8 to maintain the 1-to-2 ratio between them, because there's a black dot there. And those are all the rules. If you like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. Let's learn how to Sudoku. Okay, I could take this multiple different ways. Let's start with the small chips here, the triangles. We know, okay, so one digit is going to be 4 or more away from 2 other digits, which also must be 4 or more away from each other. The only possible combination of digits that works that way is 1, 5, and 9. Any other possible combination, you're never going to have one of the pairs be 4 away from each other, right? Say you have 1, 4, and 8. The problem is 1 and 4 cannot be 4 away from each other, right? And that's the extreme, right? So let's take 1. 1 can only be 4 or more away from 5 through 9. Well, what digits of those can be 4 away from each other? It's only 5 and 9. Same with 9. If you have 2, 2 can be next to 4, can be 4 or more away from 6, 7, 8, 9. But which digits there can be 4 or more away from each other? None of them. So that's why it always has to be 1, 5, and 9 for any set of 3 cells on a whisper 4 line, which are adjacent to each other. So this has to be a 1, 5, 9 triplet. This is a 1, 5, 9 triplet, and this is a 1, 5, 9 triplet. And that's always going to be the case for any set of 3 cells. Oh, I guess that's not the case here. No, that is the case here. These cannot be the same digit, right? If they were the same digit, that's not 4 or more away from each other. So this always has to be a 1, 5, 9 triplet here, here, and here, no matter what. Okay, 1, 5, and 9 is consecutive with only 2, 4, 6, and 8. Right, 5 can be consecutive with 4 and 6. 1 and 9 both have to be consecutive with 2 or 8. So that's one thing that you need to know about Dutch whisper lines or whisper 4 lines. Another thing you need to know is if you have one digit doubling the other, what's the most of the difference you can have between those digits? It can only be 4. So it would be 4 and 8 next to each other. So this has to be a 4-8 pair here. Because if you try 3 and 6 to be in a 1 and 2 ratio, the problem, or anything less, you'll have a difference of 3 or less, right? Because 3 doubled will have 6, but that's a difference of 3, right? So this is always guaranteed to be a 4-8 pair. 4 can only be next to 8 or 9 on a whisper 4 line. If this were 4, this would have to be 8 or 9, but we have a 159 triplet in the box, which eliminates 9 there, and we have a 4-8 pair in the box, which eliminates 8 there. So this cannot be 4 here. This has to be 8 here, which makes this 4. This has to be 4 or more away from 8, and it's consecutive with 4. The only digit possible would be 3 then. So this is 3. This has to be 1, 2, or 3 here. 4 can be next to 8 or 9 on a whisper 4 line. 1, 2, or 3 can be next to 5 through 9 on the whisper 5 line. 3 can be next to only 7, 8, and 9 on a whisper 4 line. 7, 8, or 9 can be next to only 1 through 5 on a whisper 5 line, and 5 cannot be here. 3 cannot be here, because 5 can't be next to a black Kropke dot, right? If you have 5, you get 2.5. If you double 5, you get 10, neither of which are digits. So this can only be 1, 2, or 4. If this were 1, this would have to be 2. If this were 2, this would have to be 1 or 4, but it can't be 4 in the row. But if this were 1, it'd be consecutive with a 2 here, which is not possible. So this can never be 2 then. If this is 4, it has to be consecutive with 2. So either way, this is a 2. So this is 2 guaranteed. This has to be 1 or 3 to be consecutive with it. Yeah. 1 or 4 is consecutive with 5 through 9. Sorry, not consecutive. It's can be adjacent to it on a Dutch whisper line, which is 4 or more away from it through 5 through 9. I think I might have said consecutive here too. That's not correct. Let's see. What else do we have? This 2 eliminates 2 here, so this cannot be 1 here to be consecutive with that. 5 through 9 can be next to 1 through 4, 1 through 5, or 9. This can't be 3, though, because of the 3 in... Oh, can this ever be 5 and 9? Or 1, 5, 9? I think the answer to that is no. So say we try to have a 5, 9 pair be here. That would eliminate 5 and 9 from the rest of the row, so these would both be 1, which means we have a duplicate there, which is not allowed. So this cannot be 9 here. It cannot be 5, because that would force this to be 9, and again, we'd have the same problem. So this has to be low. So this is 1, 2, or 4, which again can be next to 5 through 9 here. Cannot be 8 because of the 8 in the row. Remaining digits in row... Sorry, this left central box has to be 2, 6, and 7. This can't be 2, so this is 6 or 7 there. We're guaranteed a 2 here. This digit is consecutive with that digit. This cannot contain 1 or 3 here. 1 can only be consecutive with 2. 3 can only be consecutive with 2 or 4, and neither of those are there. So this has to be 5 through 9 here. And it cannot be 8 because of the 8 in the row, so this has to be 5 or 6 or 6 or 7. Because 9 is not only consecutive with 8. So this is guaranteed to be 6, which means this can't be 6. This is 7, which means these can't be 7. This becomes a 2, 6 pair. So this cannot be 6 here. This can't be 6 or... Sorry, it cannot be 7 because of the 7 in the row. This can't be 7. This can't be 5 or 6 because of the 5-6 pair in the row. So this has to be 9, which forces this to be 5 to be 4 or more away from it, which makes this a 6. So this cannot be 6 here. Remaining digits in row 6 are 1 and 3. 5 can only be next to 1 or 9 on a whisper 5 line. That 1 cannot be next to this digit here, so this must be a 9 then, which eliminates 9 here. This 9 also eliminates 9 here, so this is 8, which means this can't be 8. 9 is next to 1 through 5 here. This 5 eliminates 5 from these cells, so this becomes a 1-9 pair, which both must be next to a 5. Therefore, 5 cannot be either of these cells, so this must be a 5 here to be next to it on the whisper 4 line. So 5 is only consecutive with 4 out of 4 and 8, so this is 4, which means this can't be 4, that's 1, which makes this can't be 1, so it's 3. This can't be 1, so it's 3, which makes this a 1. That eliminates 1 here, also eliminates 1 here. This becomes a 5-9 pair, which eliminates 5 and 9 in the rest of the row and the rest of the box. So this is 1. This can't be 9. This is 7. This can't be 5 or 7, so it's 8. That leaves the remaining digit here as a 9. Remaining digits in row 4 are 3, 7, and 8. 3 can be next to 7 or 8 on the whisper 4 line, but 7 and 8 cannot be next to each other, so this cannot be 3. This is 7 or 8. What else do we have? 9 can be only next to 1 through 5 on a whisper 4 line. And this can't be 3 or 4. This can't be 1 because of the 1-9 pair in the row. This can't be 5 because of 5 in the box. Cannot be 3 because of 3 in the column. If this were 4, that would force this to be 8 because 4 can only be next to 8 or 9 on a whisper 5 line. So this has to be a 2, which makes this 5. That means this can't be 5 here. 5 is only next to 1 or 9 on a whisper 5 line. We have a 1-9, 1-9 pair in row 2, so that eliminates 1 and 9 in the rest of the row. 2 can only be next to 6, 7, or 8. 6, 7, 8, or 9 on the whisper 4 line. So it can't be 7, 8, or 9, so this must be 6. Which means 6 can only be next to 1 or 2 on a whisper 4 line. But we already have a 1-9 pair in row 2. So this cannot be 1, it has to be 2, which makes that next to a 9 on a whisper 4 line, which makes that 1, which makes that 9. Okay. What else do we have? This 9 eliminates 9 here, so it's 5 and 9. This 2 eliminates 2 here, so it's 6 and 2. 6 eliminates 6 here. This digit, if this is 7 or 8, it has to be 2, 3, or 4 here, but it can't be 2. It can't be 1, obviously, because of the 1 in the box. So if this is 7 or 8, can't be 1 or 2, so it must be 3 or 4 here. If this is 3, cannot be 9, so it's 7 or 8 here. Okay. 3, 4, 7, 8. So if this is 3 or 4, it could be next to 7, 8, or 9 here. Cannot be 9, so it's 7 or 8. If this is 7 or 8 here, it can be next to 1, 2, 3, or 4. So it could be 3 or 4 here. So one of these is guaranteed to be 3. We're not sure which. This is a 1 to 2 ratio. This is a 1 to 2 ratio, but they both cannot contain 1. This 3 eliminates 3 here and 3 here. What are the remaining digits in column 4? We have 1, 4, and 5. Okay. This 1 eliminates 1 here, so this is 9, which makes that 1. What are the remaining digits in column 5? We have 4, 6, 7, 8. And this can't be 6 because of a 6 in the box. This can't be 8 because of 8 in the box, so 8 is one of these digits here. 4 cannot be next to 1, 4, or 5 on a whisper 4 line. So this is 6 or 7. 5 cannot be next to 6 or 7 on a whisper 4 line. 4 can't either, so this is 1 guaranteed. So this cannot be 1 here, this cannot be 1 here. This 5 eliminates 5 here, so this is 4, which makes this 5. Neither of these can be 4. It's a 7-8 pair, which eliminates 7 and 8 in the rest of the column. So this can't be 7, this is 6. This can't be 6 or 7, that's 4. 6 can only be next to 1 and 2 on a whisper 4 line. So this is 2, this is therefore, that's not 3, this is 7. That eliminates 7 in the rest of the row. This 2 eliminates 2 here, so this is 1. That means this can't be 1 here. 2 can be next to 6 through 9 on a whisper 4 line. It can't be 7 because of the 7 here. It can't be 9, so this is 6 or 8 here. 5 could only be next to a 9 on a whisper 4 line, or a 1, and this is neither. What else do we have? Okay. Remaining digits in column 3. We have 1, 7, 8, 9. None of these can be 1. So this is 7, 8, or 9. It cannot be 8 or 9 here. So this must be 7, which means this can't be 7. This is an 8, 9 pair, which forces this to be a 1. Remaining digit here is a 3. Okay. We have 8 ones. We know where the last one has to be. It has to be there. Twos. Twos have to be one of these 2 digits there. Remaining digits in column 2 are 3, 4, 6, and 7. This can't be 3 or 4 because of the 3, 4 pair in the row. This can't be 4 or 7. This can't be 6. So this cannot be a 3, 6 pair because it would eliminate all possibilities for that cell. This can't be 7 either. So 7 has to be one of these 2 digits here. So this cannot be a 3, 6 pair in a 1 to 2 ratio here because it would eliminate all possibilities for this cell. Cannot be 1, 2. It could be 2, 4, or 4, 8. So either way, it requires a 4, which would have to be here. So this is 2 or 8 here. Cannot be 8 because of the 8, 9 pair in the box. So this is 2, which means this can't be 2. This 4 eliminates 4 here, so it's 3 and 6. 6 eliminates 6 here, so it's 7, which makes this 8, which makes that 7. This can't be 3, 6, or 7, so it's 4. That leaves this digit as a 5. This 6 eliminates 6 here, so this is 8, which means this can't be 8. That's 9, which makes that 8. Remaining digits in row 7 are 2, 4, and 6. Remaining digit in row 8 is a 3, so this must be 3 and 6 here, which eliminates 6 here. This 3 eliminates 3 here. This can't be 6 either. It can't be 7. This is 4 or 8 here. This cannot be 4 here. So if this were 4, this would have to be an 8. If this is 8, this would have to be a 3, so this can never be 7. This 8 eliminates 8 here. Remaining digits in row 9, we have, what, 5, 7, and 9. This can't be 5 or 9, so this must be 7. This can't be 9, so it must be 5, which makes that 9. 7 eliminates 7 here, so that's 3. Which has to be next to 8 here, which makes that next to 4. This can't be 3 or 8, so it's 7, which makes that 8. Okay, remaining digit in This could be either digit. Remaining digits in row 5 are 2, 4, and 6. This can't be 4 or 6, so this must be 2, which makes this 4, which makes that 2, which makes that 4. Okay, we have 8 2s. We know where the last 2 has to be. It has to be there. 3s. The 3 in the upper right-hand box cannot be here or here because of 3's in the column, so it must be here. That gives us 8 3, so we know where the last 3 has to be. It has to be there. We have 9 4, so that's fine. 5, we have 8 5, so the last 5 has to be there. 6s, we know 6 has to be here for column 8. 6 has to be here for column 7. That gives us 8 6s, so this has to be 6 for row 1. 7s, we have 9 7s, and then 8s, the last 8 must be there because we have 8 8s, and therefore this must be, oh, we missed a 7 there. We had 8 7s. So that's the solution for that puzzle. I chose this because it was a Dutch whisper lines or a whisper 4 line puzzle. And this highlights actually some of the unique traits about whisper 4 lines, right? You can have a 1 to 2 ratio between them, and it only can be 4 and 8. If you have 3 cells, which are all adjacent to each other on a whisper 4 line, it has to be a 1 5 9 triplet, because that's the only way that works. And so that you can actually work with that for swapping, essentially, sets. So if you're forced to have, essentially, 2 of the same quote-unquote set next to each other, you can use 5 to basically fiddle around to make that not be a contradiction, essentially. But it also forms if you have essentially, yeah, so like these would have to be at least 4 apart from each other. And the only way that that's going to be the case is if you have a 5 in between them. And it has to be 1 and 9. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Learn How to Sudoku, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.